Race fans, welcome back to Daytona International, USA, the birthplace of high speeds, high banks, plate track racing as we know it today, and also the inaugural place where we race in the Xfinity Reaper Series as we resume coverage from Monday night's competition that was plagued by YouTube in-just streamer woes and connections to the server. I'm your host once again, Matt Metler, up here in the broadcast booth. Tonight is now we're resuming the race where we left coverage the first time, right around that lap 20 mark. As you can see right now, we're 2 by 2 here. The train going strong here. The outside lane's being led by McKinney in that 46 machine. Let's get a big push there from Trey Whitehead as we go ahead and zoom on into the action. Again, want to thank everybody for being on board with us here Monday night, as well as anyone that's watching this recast here live right now. Both lanes just about formed up and lined up the same. And that's why they're 2 by 2. They're almost stuck. No one can get an advantage right now. Little Chevy on Toyota action on the front row there. Come off the turns 1 and 2 complex. They're going to fire now down the backstretch. You see the 57 there. Big momentum on the bottom. There is Darren Mills in the tune machine. He's trying to work with the 11 there. That's Wiley, and then SRM, Jordan Polly of Whitehead Racing in that 57. Brock Whitehead in the 23 comes over from Cup Series competition as well, technically as Polly as well in that 57. Darren Mills in the 2 comes over from the Moonshiner Racing Series. You can catch them on SRM Wednesday nights in prime time. As Mills now goes to the bottom. What do you say we go on board with Darren Mills, driver of the number 2 Chevrolet Camaro? Look how close this action is, over 190 miles an hour. Gets a little loose there, and these cars do tend to sway a lot, especially in the draft. Yet one of many things that can plague these drivers when you're racing, at tracks like Daytona. If you're an iRacer, iRacing Super Speedway, Talladega, ooh, he gets big time loose there. You heard the tires start screaming. Was not happy at all there. So now that outside lane's going to get a run. Now going to shift to Brock Whitehead. The Texan. If you're not first, you're last. Ricky Bobby, and he drives like it too. As that top lane's now trying to side draft as he's pushing Polly. Good golly, it's Polly going to the lead. And just as I say that bottom lane gets a great run right there as well as they get some energy built up. Three wide, who's in the sucker hole? That looks to be the 46 of Dalton McKinney. This never works good here. 3 wide at the front. Oh, there it goes. That's going to light the dynamite. The bomb's going to go off, and we got the big one as cars are exploding all over the racetrack. They're still getting wadded up. Is that green flag is still in the air? I'm not sure how that makes sense. Clearly, we were under caution. This all happening on lap 27. One of the drivers got caught in the sucker hole there. 3 wide. And a little push gone wrong. All lit it off at the top of the racetrack. It's that iRacing.com pace car now back out on the field. Or on the track, I should say. Excuse me. Jordan Pauly's going to take it down to pit road as he's got some heavy damage on that 57. That's race control. Brandon Kelly in his pit. Robert Girard, the 54, I believe, has been caught up in it. Yes, he's already left. He's already left the racetrack. He is gone. Multiple big names in this brand new series going to be caught up, or as they like to say, got Daytona'd by that one, is it all went wrong, went bad, quick, fast, and in a hurry. As we tried to go 3 wide and come up the gut, that move really made famous in the SSIL by DJ Daniel, who is suddenly not racing in the series, also pulled his teams and operations out as well. But just a few short weeks ago, he had an electrifying move in the truck series where he blocked everything, including the grass. And he proved it, that you could make it work. And ever since then, it seems like, you know, it doesn't matter if you're in the truck series, the Reaper series, or in the Ghost Cup series. If you're at a plate track, you know, these drivers will attempt to come up the tunnel of doom, a.k.a. the sucker hole. Pace car out on the racetrack. We're going to go ahead, step aside, pay some bills, but you won't miss anything. So we're going to keep this all-out coverage for the time being. Race fans, welcome back to Daytona International Speedway. Coming off a horrific caution sequence here is multiple drivers, including Whitehead Racing, Robert Gillard, Brock Whitehead, and others were caught up in a three-wide melee at the front that sparked the big one. We're riding on board with Jeffrey in the 3, as he is going to be your leader coming back to the green flag here. Going to wait on the Geico restart zone. Green flag back in the air. He's going to stand on the loud pedal and climb back up through the gearbox once again as those glorious V8s come back to life here at Daytona. You can hear him really winding that car out, getting all the good out of the power plant on that engine. Now working lap 31 of 120 here. It's going to be Radke, Cooper, Sanderson, and Cooper. Got two different Coopers in this race. The 18 is your biggest mover of the race right now. He's up 10 spots from where he started in that 4th place position. Austin Cooper in the 12. Just actually got shuffled out of that 2nd place position. He is going to be residing in that 012 machine. He's up 5 spots from where he started. Again, a lot of big movers here at the front because we've had some attrition in this race early on. It's taken out a lot of key names, or big factors, at least that I thought we would see up here contending for the win, but not the case thus far. As they come off the turns 1 and 2 complex, going to be firing, 3 and 4 complex. As they come through, charging through the Geico restart zone one more time. It's still a side-by-side battle, as one of these lanes just cannot seem to get an advantage, and it is really keeping... Oh, look at that move. That was something you used to be able to do back in the Cup Series in the mid-2000s. You know, the leader, you could kind of play one line off the other without causing these massive checkups or... throwing a late block, which is really seems to be trendy now, or the catalyst to spark the big one. The 22, of Sanderson was able to do that without really bottlenecking any of the lines out there. And believe me, trust me, those drivers appreciate it, is oftentimes that's what kicks off these horrific crashes, at racetracks like Talladega or Daytona. .31 now. Or excuse me, the 3. I apologize. Really now coming up, giving a bump there to the 22 with Sanderson. That bottom lane's really starting to get formed up, but I'm not sure if it's a byproduct of this fixed setup or if it's just the car. Because that's the biggest run we've seen, or an advantage, I should say, to any line thus far through 34 laps. And just like that, it is gone. I mean, that second line that's on the top shelf there, the high side, they just swallowed that bottom lane right back up again. And now here we go, the 3 and the 12 are going to have to reset, reload, do it all over again. It's close quarters, nighttime racing. You can see the 11 there. That's going to be Wiley in that 11, the Toyota Supra. He was working with his teammate very well, Sanderson, earlier, who continues to lead this piece. When those two Toyotas got hooked up, they were like impossible to dethrone on that bottom line. Did a masterful job out there working the draft. And now it seems like everyone is going to the high side of the racetrack. You see Darren Mills now getting around the 23 there of Brock Whitehead. The only entry from Whitehead Racing left in this race at this point in time. See a lane change there further on near the back. I believe that was Sean Powers. No, that was the 46. I'm sorry, Dalton McKinney. That was able to come down from the top shelf, pick up that bottom lane. And again, as you've seen, it didn't disrupt flow of traffic. You know, everyone was able to maintain. No one had to check up hard, slam the brakes on. That's something we haven't seen, you know, in plate racing for a long time. We were actually able to do that in the next-gen cars as well about a week or so ago. There's Brock Whitehead there in the 23. He's now being scored in that 10th place position. He slid back just a little bit. 7 spots from where he started. Oh, that was almost a bump draft gone wrong. Let's go on board with the 3. See what this looks like from his point of vantage. That's going to be the 22 of Cooper. Just in front of Jeffrey on the bottom. And he had an ill-timed push there, or perhaps maybe he got a little help from behind and for whatever reason closed up too much and made contact with that Supra in front of him. And it got really squirrely there. Lucky he's able to save that race car and hold on to it. And now nothing runs like a deer. Here comes the 012 machine. As Austin Cooper had the lead momentarily, but it just seems like any time, you know, on this bottom lane here, when they need to go, especially when they're formed up like that, they are straight as an arrow right there. You know, that's when you're going to see the highest speeds and the biggest surge of energy, and that's what plate racing really is all about. Now, the 42 of Jackson Stevens now has slotted himself into that bottom lane, 4th place position. Last time by, and all these speeds are within a couple hundredths of each other right now. Tenths, and that's going on the high side, a 48.11. You know, you just hope, you know, from a driver's standpoint and the teams, that last caution, the way that thing just took off like a grand finale on the 4th of July, you know, it'll get these drivers calmed down, these spotters, crew chiefs, and get in their ear and remind them, you can't win this thing on lap 1, lap 40. You have to be in it to win it, and you got to survive to be alive at the end when the checkered flag falls. Austin Cooper, though, given everything he possibly can. John Deere paint scheme reminds me of Chad Little back in the day. It's either the late 90s or early 2000s, if I remember correctly. Now, here comes the top shelf. They're getting formed up. And just as I say that, they're 18 of Cooper. The other Cooper, Brandon Cooper, jumps out of line a little bit there, and that run's going to dissipate. And here comes the bottom. If you love night racing, big shout out to Christopher Cash and the rest of the admins of the series for doing Daytona a little bit differently under the night sky. Oftentimes we see, and I understand this tradition, Daytona, that race being ran on TV during the day, point blank in broad daylight, and the same a lot in iRacing. Nice little audible change here for these guys, starting it off Coca-Cola 400 style, or Coke Zero 400 style, excuse me. Some of you may remember it as the Pepsi 400, or the Firecracker, which is the second race at Daytona, which is usually ran at night. If I'm a betting man, I'm going to say the series is probably going to do the reverse. They're going to run that race in the sunshine early to mid-afternoon. Just look, this action. These cars are so closely packed together out here. Go on board again with that number 3 machine. Go to the GoPro camera, looking out of the back. Just look at that. They're mere inches off one another, and you can see how these cars, they wiggle a little bit. They start to wag a little bit. That's another thing that these drivers have to be conscientious of. So they're trying to maintain that wag and this dirty, turbulent air. Then they're trying to make sure they're not out there high-fiving everyone on the racetrack. It just takes one little shot, one little thing gone wrong. And the next thing you know it, you're going sky ground, infield care center, wondering what the heck happened. Now working lap 45 out of 120. Your top 10. Austin Cooper in that 12 machine. In that 22, I'm sorry. The 12 there of Austin Cooper. Brandon Cooper is going to be residing in that 18 car in that 4th place position, up 11 spots. Currently the biggest mover of the race. Samuel Lawson in 5th in the 99 ride. 6th belongs to Jackson Stevens. Darren Mills currently inside the top 10 in that 7th place position. Jonathan Wiley, he was up and further near the front just moments ago, slid back a little bit as he did owe on to that 8th place position, as Brock Whitehead now looks to start charging back towards the front, as he's going to now overtake that 9th place position from Bradley Barton. That's the top 10 as they currently run right now. As we're working lap 46 here, trying to grind some of these laps down here, at least these drivers are. What do you say we go ahead and crank it up? And if you got those subwoofers at home, send it with some bass. I'm telling you, boys, it's life-changing. Or you fans, it's life-changing. Give it a shot. Crank the bass if you got it. Let's do this thing. Oh, we got big time problems as we were all out and we got 5 cars. He just got his face ripped off. Involved in a big time collision is once again when the bomb goes off at Daytona. It decimates nearly all. We had one of the cars there, I believe it was 11, tried to basically launch like the space shuttle outside of the catch fence as it was pointed perpendicular, straight up and down into the fence. Is this now going to bring out another caution here? Xfinity Reaper Series, we've had a ton of attrition in this race. A lot of big names out early. Gillard in the 54. A lot of Whitehead Racing, in fact. Jordan Polly in the 57. He was up there contending. Charles Whitehead, who had big expectations for this race, coming over from the Cup Series. Out of this race. One of the drivers, Brandon Kelly, was ejected by race control. He was thrown out of the racing facility for a dirty move on the racetrack. As he was given the DQ award, and I'm not talking Dairy Queen, I'm disqualification early in this one. So we've had a lot of tempers flaring. We've had big time explosions, the wrecks and the drama, everything you expect here at Daytona. So we're now under caution here once again. You see that iRacing.com pace car out leading the charge on the field. Under this caution sequence, we're going to step aside. Don't go away. We're going to pay some bills, and we'll be right here as we resume coverage from Monday night's Reaper Xfinity Series inaugural opener here from the Big House in Daytona. Race fans, welcome back to Daytona International, USA. As we currently in the process of re-airing Monday night's inaugural Xfinity Reaper Series action, which was plagued by server ingest errors and all kinds of things just wreaked havoc. Hopefully that is over. We then did a replay of the race. We rebroadcasted it in a replay format, which YouTube does not want to take. So here we are, still trying. Hopefully third time's a charm. We get it done. I'm Matt Metler up in the broadcast booth with you guys. I'll be with you all season long, each and every step of the way, as we watch this inaugural Reapers Xfinity Series action unfold over the course of the year. That pace car out on the racetrack, those lights are out, which means we're going to get ready to go back. Green flag racing here one more time. To make that hard turn in. Sanderson's going to have the button as he approaches the Geico restart zone. He's going to put the pedal to the metal. Here we go. Green flag back in the air. And all those glorious V8s come back to life. What a restart there by the 22. That man is an animal. Ooh, almost a push gone wrong there. The 66 almost gave him the business. Here comes a run on the high side of the racetrack. Brock Whitehead getting back into the mix. In fact, let's go on board with the only remaining Whitehead in competition from Whitehead Racing. Everyone else, donezo. There we go. If you're not first, you're last. Obviously quoting Ricky Bobby, because he is in an all-out dogfight drag race right now. He's on the top shelf. You got the 66 of Stahl in the inside. He's up 3 spots from where he started. First lead of the evening for Corey Stahl from Youngstown, Ohio, up in the Great Lakes region. If you want to see something scary, let's poke our head out the back side of his race car here. Just watch this. You have all that pandemonium coming at you, just inches apart, and here comes a big shot from the 11. You can see the bumper of that Toyota Supra comes up and gives a bump draft there to the 66. This is going to happen all race long. The art of bump drafting is what makes plate racing so special, but it also acts as a blind claymore mine, as it just takes a matter of seconds to explode in chaos. You name it, pandemonium. Parts go flying everywhere. In a moment's notice, a blink of an eye here at Daytona, Talladega certainly fall into the mix as well. And again, we've rarely seen one of these lines have a clear advantage through 58 laps of competition. 95% of the time, it's been just like this. Both lines basically duking it out side by side. John Force style here. Just drag racing around this, 2.5 miles facility. Oh no, not 3 wide again. The last time they tried this was not good. And now the last remaining Whitehead Racing candidate, Brock, he is going to be the lead car in the sucker hole. And he is getting a big-time push. I mean, a big-time shove. Oh. Just a little wiggle there from, is that the 22? Cody Sanderson. That's Sanderson that's given Brock a crazy push of a lifetime up the gut. Going to go on board here as these boys are in the middle. They are trying to do the impossible. Come up looking like Moses trying to part the Red Seas. Oh, the 22 is going to clear up to the top, and he is going to leave Brock out to dry. Oh, no, excuse me. The 23 did get to the top side. Okay. I thought he shuffled him out there, but doesn't look to be the case. Brock wants that lead. He wants to lead that outside train. Look how well formed up that bottom lane is. That's probably the biggest lead we've seen had any line, or any advantage, I should say, they've had all race long. But just like that, as that energy blows apart, everyone's going to scatter here now, as we're going to have to recycle or reshuffle here as we go past the Geico restart zone. Now working lap 61 of a 120 lap scheduled event. Ooh, off the racetrack there. That's not good. As I believe that's going to bring the caution out on the racetrack, and it does. So caution back out on the racetrack once again here in prime time. It's going to give Brock Whitehead the lead. So he's going to come across the start-finish line and take that yellow flag. This all happening as we've had multiple cautions for incident. Is he going to pick up that iRacing.com pace car in that Toyota? Ooh, the 22, Cody Sanderson, comes in there a little hot, but he gets it woed up. So that iRacing.com pace car has picked up the leader. Last time these boys were down pit road, except for the 23 and 22, who are first and second, was lap 58. We're going to have some takers here, and here they come. Looks virtually everyone's going to come down pit road, top off on fuel, perhaps maybe two tires here. Going to watch Brock Whitehead come into his pit. Want to make sure you stop that car in the box. Do not go over the line, or you have to put that thing in reverse and cost yourself precious time on your pit delta. The 66 is in. Multiple drivers in. Here comes the race off pit road, and Brock's going to get beat. Oh my goodness. You rarely see that happen. We take a look at the time delta here. Now, there were a couple cars. I take that back. We now have the second wave of cars hitting pit road this time. As this all cycles now, Dalton McKinney is going to have the lead. Cooper He's going to restart second. Now, we got two different Coopers in this race. You got the 18 being piloted by Brandon Cooper, who's also the biggest mover of the race. And then you have Austin Cooper. So we got some Cooper on Cooper action going on. Maybe we'll change how we say that. But anyways, we got Cooper back to back here. They've kind of been working with each other at times too, which has kind of been fun to watch. So Austin Cooper's in the 12, Brandon Cooper's in the 18. That's second and third place position. Then you got Lawson. What in the world? What is going on? There's a car just... Why am I not surprised? What was that? What did we just witness? Oh, this ain't gonna be good. Watch this. Boom! Just smacks the snot out of him. What is going on? You can understand if your car is, you blew the engine, money shifted, whatever, and you have to come to a stop. And if you choose to forbid, at the start-finish line of all places in the groove, I know one of the Xfinity drivers last year made that famous when he basically parked it at the start-finish line and got out and walked. I forget who that was. But here we are again now, doing it in the sim. Pit stops are complete in Daytona, International USA, under the lights in prime time. Those boys are in good hands with the pace car. We're going to step away one more time, pay some bills, and we'll cut back into coverage when we come back to green here momentarily. Race fans, welcome back to Daytona. Green flag back in the air once again in the Xfinity Reaper Series. I'm your host tonight, Matt Metler, and you're on Redline Racing Network. If you're new to the channel, please make sure you like, subscribe, help us grow. Quite frankly, a new look, a new revelation in the broadcast, well, at least in the eSIM industry, if you ask me. A lot of big things in the works in the upcoming months. Want to thank my partner in crime, Brandon, as well, for being on board in this initiative with me. We're so thankful to have the Xfinity Reaper Series on board with us, featuring them as one of our featured leagues here tonight, under the lights in Daytona. Let's bring the coverage back down trackside for you guys at home. Again, this is a re-air from Monday night's coverage of their inaugural race here at the Big House. And if you're any other driver in the field other than Wiley, the 11, and the 22 there is Sanderson, you should be terrified. Because the opening of this race was dominated by those Toyotas. However, if you're Brock Whitehead, you may be the exception there, as he's on the outside now, really getting rowdy, as he's getting a heck of a push from Bradley Bartley. Man, it doesn't take much to disrupt that momentum. Because now you got a 3-car breakaway at the front, and you just seen what I call the shovel. Now, you know the term, the dump and run. Oh, did you see that move by Whitehead? He just shoved it in a place where that hole didn't exist and made one. Anyways, the dump and run, most tracks, I'm not talking about super speedways. It's when you come up, give someone the business, you dump them, you wreck them, you move them out of the way. But here at plate tracks, the dump and run is simply when you just dump off a car to the bottom lane from the high side of the racetrack. Or if you're Dave Regal over at SRM, he calls it the shovel play. The thing with that is, drivers remember that. So when the 48 bailed on Whitehead to go down to the bottom to take the lead and left him hanging on the top side, Jesus! Jackson Stevens. That was a code everything inside Bradley Bartley's cockpit. My goodness. There was 2 woulda, coulda, shouldas in the past 3 laps, and yet we stay green. Unbelievable. But now, this field chasing the team cars of Jonathan Wiley and Cody Sanderson is now they're going to go side by side. That was a miscue there. It was not the plan. And now the 22 is going to have to side draft the bejesus out of the 11. And hopefully the 11 will check up and let him in. But that's not going to be the case, as the 42 of Stevens is trying to bury the hatchet into the back of the 11. You can slot in now. Oh, those are probably 2 mistakes. Rare miscues for the 11 and 22. Because I'm telling you guys, when they were hooked up earlier, before all the calamity started, you could not pass those 2 TRD cars. They were just the class of the field, it seemed. Looking out now the front of your leader, Jonathan Wiley. From Tornado Alley. In fact, today they are under the gun. SPC has a enhanced severe weather risk for those in Oklahoma in the Classic Tornado Alley, so hopefully he's keeping an eye to the sky. And here's his teammate, Cody Sanderson. You can see him making contact multiple times with the back of that 11. And right behind Sanderson. Oh, you got the hornet's nest to brew it. '93, working lap 93, 92, or excuse me, 92, yes, have been written in the history books thus far. And of course, the beautiful thing about being in an inaugural season, that history book is wide open. It has to be written. If you're here in the series, hey, it's your opportunity to seize that moment and make sure you're etching your name. So when these guys come back here 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years from now, you're there in stone. Wins, polls, top 5s, top 10s, championships. And no one can take that away from you as we see some more big time, just wild moves up here at the front of this piece. And I wish Monday night would have went better. We just had everything working against us. The YouTube ingest server kept puking packets. The bandwidth was all over the place. Then I couldn't hold the connection to the iRacing server. And then a freak accident booted me at the right time and caused a voltage spike and took out my CPU. Still sick that we had to miss coverage for most of that race, but trying to make it right here. But I'll tell you what, this racing has been absolutely electric. It has been fantastic. There's now just 26 laps remain on the board. A little further on back on the recovery drive, there is Jordan Pauly. One of two Whitehead Racing drivers in this field. Man, I love the sound of those older V8s. That does not get old, as that reminds me of the Romeo R6 engines. Solid fixed rear axle, the way it should be, if you ask me. No, we're going to have a lap car here. Going to be just in front of the leaders here. Smartly gets out of the way. Great heads-up job. Great situational awareness. That's what you want to see. Now, don't wreck it. Don't spin. Oh, God. Any of you guys at home are in the race, have not heard the term Kevin LePage the field, go to YouTube, check it out, and I will not spoil it for you. Talk about being up close and personal is Christopher Cash in the 69 comes out of nowhere. Where did Cash come from? Cash being scored in that 16th place position. Laps down. He had to have been out there running the single file because we already had that one lap car. He must just not have realized he was there that close in proximity to these leaders. Oh, he almost gave the 22 the squeeze job. Cash don't care if he's in 30th. He's at the front of this. He's going to drive like it. He may be a factor in this race. Because now the 11 and 22 have teamed back up again. You have the lap car fighting for his life on the bottom. The 69 of Christopher Cash is not the leader, but he's the first car one lap down right now until he passes the 22 of Sanderson. Now Christopher Cash back on the lead lap. And he goes up and tries to side draft the leader. You think he ain't fighting tooth and nail right now trying to keep on that lead lap? He knows if he falls back into the clutches, this race is over for him. Let's go on board with Christopher Cash. He, of course, the head HMFIC or cook, chief, and bottle washer of the league, however you'd like to put it. The Kingsport, Tennessee man. Probably got some smooth Tennessee whiskey at his computer. This is sim racing. I'm not promoting drinking and driving. Let's just be clear with that right now. Not that you should probably do that anyhow, but if you're as cool as Cash, you probably get away with it no problem in the Sims. He is fighting for his life because right out the back door or bumper of that race car, that right there is lurking, and he is doing everything he can to stay in front of it. And I mean everything. '69 continues to claw, scratch, fight, do whatever he can to stay in front of the rest of the field. However, your effective leader is going to be Jordan Pollard. As we have money stops, the final pit stops of the race being made right now. Austin Cooper in the 12 is going to jump down to pit lane. That is not pit lane. Well, technically it is, but that is not the view we're looking for. Well, apparently by the forces that be, we're just not supposed to watch his final pit stop, but I can assure you, he is in for the final. There we go. 12 machine in his pit stall. Wait a minute. That doesn't look right. Yeah, that's what I thought. He has been in his pit stall for quite a while getting damage repairs on that machine. Stahl now going to rotate to the lead here in that 66 machine. Stahl, McKinney, and Polly. That's first, second, and third in this first group of cars. Then you got Captain America, Brock Whitehead, in the 4. Pushing. Good golly, here comes Polly. Jordan Polly, his teammate. And they are catching those 3 cars, and they did it. And when you're getting pushed by Brock Whitehead, you just better hold on. Keep it straight or die. Pretty much. But trust me, I know I'm on his team in the Ghost Cup Series. His 2 cars have ran down the 3 of Stahl, McKinney, and now that 2 and 3 car pack is going to merge and become one. And they're going to go side by side. They want the lead. $17 laps to go. Maybe a little too soon for this, but apparently the Whitehead Racing feels differently about that. So as they race 2 by 2, and here they come. They want more. Look at that. That is team drafting almost executed flawlessly as Whitehead and Polly got a... Oh, that's almost was a bad push in the corner. Polly almost ate hot garbage at McDonald's. Go on board with Polly. Getting big time pushes there from Brock Whitehead. And now here comes the 66 and the 3 surging back. All this going on at speeds of almost 195 miles an hour. Now 15 laps remaining here from Daytona. Their lap car, that's going to be the 5 ride there of Johnny Williams. He's going to stay to the high side, out of traffic, and not affecting or influencing this pack racing here at the front of this piece. So here in this first pack of cars, you're going to have Corey Stahl, Paulie, Brock Whitehead, and McKinney. Then you got Bradley Bartley here in this two-car duo, or two-car tango if you're a fan of the COT racing. That's going to be the 48 of Bartley, and then the 2 of Darren No One Thrills Like Darren Mills in 6. Coming over from the Moonshiners Cup Series. Catch them on SRM Wednesday nights. You'd be glad you did. They always put on a great show. The nighttime's the right time, after all. Just ask him. He'll tell you all about it. Then in that 7th place position, there's Brandon Cooper in the 18. He's leading this 3rd pack of cars now. This is the biggest grouping on the racetrack. These guys are about 14 seconds in back of the lead pack right now, so they have a ton of work to do. They're probably not going to be able to catch them. Oh my God! Are you kidding me? No! Throw the red flag after that one. My God. And caution flag should be displayed any moment, and there it is. And because we are replaying a live broadcast, as bad as I want to go to an instant replay, I don't want to mess up the playback of this pre-recorded broadcast. But caution under, or I said caution waving over Daytona's International Super Speedway, as we had a epic multiple car incident here, as one of the cars came up onto the safer barrier and rode the wall. Literally rode the wall. Looked like something you'd see at the X Games. This, of course, going to also be the Don't Stain Your Ride, Use Tide moment of the race. Brought to you by the man that just went wall riding. A couple guys going to come down here into the pits, probably to change their shorts and get a new race suit. That including the 11 of Wiley, Christopher Cash, also on pit road. Sometimes it just does not want to show us pit road here. There we go. Under caution here once again late in the Xfinity Reaper Series. Under the lights at Daytona due to the big one. Nah, scratch that. It wasn't big. A wild one is the third pack of racing, the third pack of cars as we had undergone green flag pit stops and it broke up the field, had a nuclear bomb go off in it. There's the iRacing.com pace car. Going to pick the field up here one more time tonight. And as we're under caution here at the Big House, we're going to step away in the broadcast booth for the final time this evening. When we come back, the conclusion of the inaugural race in the Reaper Xfinity Series right here on Redline Racing Network. Don't go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to cut in hard from commercial as we had a quickie yellow. Green flag back in the air at Daytona International Super Speedway. Stahl in that 66 machine is now going to have the lead with Dalton McKinney in the 46 in tow. God, I love that sound. Oh, we got more carnage. This is a 1-2 whack-a-mole situation, and someone tried to mow down the safer barrier. I hope he didn't have any dinner plans. Wasn't Brandon Kelly? He's been ejected from the race. It may have been Jonathan Wiley. No, excuse me. Not that Wiley. You guessed it, folks. Under caution again here at Daytona. Is oftentimes these laps wind down. And the on-track calamity tends to pick up. Cautions breed cautions, and that's clearly the case here. There's Barney the flagman displaying that caution flag. There's your leader, the 66. Is he coming to the front or coming alive at the right time or what? The Ohio man has a plan, clearly. There he is, ladies and gentlemen, your current leader tonight. In that second place position from Clarksville. McKinney doing a great job as the number 2, the pusher. As they currently reside first and second. Third, Whitehead's own Jonah, oh my God, Jordan Pauly in that 57. Bradley Bartley is going to round out your top 4, up 14 positions from where he started in the 48. Thank him for your pick 5 lottery numbers this evening. That's going to be 4, 4, 14. And across the board. In 5th, the 18, who has been bad fast at times. That is Brandon Cooper. And from Whitehead Racing, from the Ghost Cup Series, if you're not first, you're last. Brock Whitehead in 6th. By the powers that be, Sean resides in 7th in that 53 machine. Currently the biggest mover of the race, up 12 spots from where he started in 7th. Thrills and Spills, number 2. In that 8th place position. 9th belongs to Jackson Stevens. And in 3rd, the Mooresville, North Carolina native. Right there in the heart of NASCAR country, if you ask me, it's the 3. Trying to catch up to the field. Couple takers here on pit road. Sanderson, Johnny Williams in the 5. In the 72, a Bressler, excuse me. That iRacing.com pace car now has the field form up behind it once again. And don't forget, we do have a choose cone here. We actually got something a little better than that. We have the choose car. We'll be able to feature the choose car camera next week as we're live back in prime time Monday night. So make sure you hit the subscribe notifications, check the box, ring the bell, get notified each and every time the Xfinity Reaper Series goes live right here on Redline Racing Network. You don't want to miss any of the action. The only place to be Monday nights. Come spend it with us. And I promise you, it will be entertaining each and every time. We're going to pause a moment here for station identification, but we are not going to leave. We're going to keep it all out coverage as we await the green flag here once again, as we are late, deep into this race, the 120-lap opening event in the Xfinity Reaper Series. Welcome back as green flag is back in the air here at Daytona. Field coming back up to speed. The V8s are ready and glorious here once again at Daytona. Just 5 laps to go. Who is going to win the inaugural race in the series? Yeah, those next-gen cards sound nothing like that. Courtesy of the Digger Cam. So Stahl continues to try and hold down the fort here as he carries the torch at the big house. Uh-oh, as Dave Regal would say, that's the diamond formation. That's never a good thing. Is the 42 just about 8 lunch off the bumper of the 3? There it goes! Like the words of Phil Collins, I can feel it coming in the air tonight. I guess they kept it off the racing surface there as the green flag is going to remain in the air. Now 3 laps remaining. Can Stahl steal one here at Daytona? Oh, here comes the high side. They're thinking about hitting the afterburner. Can the 2 on the top shelf? Brandon Cooper in the 18 and his dance partner. That's going to be the 57 of Jordan Pauly from Whitehead Racing. They're going to try and overtake on the high side. Top shelf where Mama hides the cookies. Going to go on board with Jordan Pauly in that Toyota. Now 2 laps remaining. Popsicle sticks in the air. Stahl leads the inside. Pauly leads the top shelf. And he's got everybody with him. That second pack of cars or group of cars is now caught up. There's Darren Mills on the outside in that 7th place position. He's going to make his name known here before it's all said and done. Oh, man, these guys don't wad it up. Please don't wad it up. It's the last lap. We're racing back to the checkered flag. Big old side draft there from the 57 at Pauly. Who is going to win this race? Look at the move. Did you see that? Now on the final lap as we're coming down the backstretch. Oh, he's going to 1-2 whack-a-mole off each other. It's a melee as everyone's dying at the start-finish line. I believe Stahl has won that race. I know instant replay has not been cooperative in this rebroadcast mode, but it doesn't matter now. It's over. We're going to go back to it. We're going to bring you back just coming out of the turns 3 and 4 complex. We're going to slow it down. We're going to go to the eye in the sky from the chopper. Brian, you're going to have to give me just a minute there. The pops is that 2 cars come all the way down to the flatlands. He's going to get loose, come back up into traffic. And that bottom disaster is going to merge with that hot garbage on the top, and it's going to go off big. The 3's going to get spun around backwards. The 11's going to come down and clobber the 46, the McKinney. Absolutely insane. Let's take a look at that one more time. Brian, you're just going to have to give me one moment, please. I know it's been a long couple days trying to get this race for these competitors taken care of here on YouTube. Just bear with me a couple moments here, buddy. We're going to go ahead and wind that back, or at least try to, as he's yanking on my hand. I do apologize. What a finish here at Daytona, as Jordan Pauly, in that battered, shattered Toyota Supra, is credited with that win. Now, I'm going to confirm that with iRacing timing and scoring as well, just because this is a re-air. Go ahead and click that screen off here. What in the world? That can't be right. No way. And again, I just want to make sure. Aha! Timing and scoring is wrong. Corey Stahl, according to iRacing timing and scoring, and that's what the official scoring is here, has Corey Stahl listed as the leader. As Stahl is now doing burnouts and donuts, lighting it up in prime time, Stahl has won the inaugural opening event in the Xfinity Reaper Series. He's going to burn the house down here. What a drive here at the end. Just got to back it up there just a little bit. But anyways, your race leader tonight, the action man with the plan. He thrills in prime time, gets the first win here of his Reaper Xfinity Series. As we go back to relive some of the final moments of the race here. Once again, you see the 66 of Stahl. He is leading. Getting a big push there from the 46 of McKinney. This now should be the final lap. And it is. Almost got a poke check there to the top sideline. Pauly's on the high side. Really has to give a big thank you there to the man pushing him, his wingman Cooper, who was stuck to him like glue pretty much all race long at times. Is they're going to take on, that's what happened there. The 18 came down initially, got everything shuffled up here. That's going to cost them a little bit of momentum. They start doing the bob and weave. An explosion on the top side of the racetrack as they just come past the start-finish line. But according to iRacing, Corey Stahl credited with that win. Timing and scoring says Jordan Pauly, but not the case. Dalton McKinney's going to come in that second place position. Unbelievable. You know, something just told me to go check timing and scoring on iRacing, and I'm glad I did. Typically, you don't want to do that in a broadcast, but the sake of the finish of the race and SDK not having it called correctly, glad we did. Want to thank everybody who joined us initially on Monday night for the broadcast as we tried so diligently to bring it back on air several times. But once again, the 66 reigns supreme of Corey Stahl. He gets the win at the Big House here from Daytona. We'll see you guys next week, Monday night, for our second installment. We appreciate everybody, and we'll see you next time right here on Redline Racing Network. Have a great night.